You always start with taking out a GCF if there is one. Okay, that is what we always start with. So when we look at this, it says there in the middle, the first, look for a GCF. Okay, if it has a GCF, take it out. That is step one. Okay, now we're going to look at what to do with the different types of polynomials. So the different, depending on how many terms it has, it changes how we address the problem. So if we look at a polynomial with two terms, okay, once we check to see if it's a GCF, when it is two terms, it can just have a GCF, and that's okay. But whenever it is two terms, it will often have a difference of squares. So we're going to look at what to do in the case of a difference of squares. So difference of squares literally means it is a difference of squares, okay? So the difference means it is a subtraction problem, and of squares means that it is two perfect squares that are being subtracted. So there is a rule that you can use to help you do that. And that rule, y'all, extra conversations, okay? So, and that rule is what squares to give you a squared? A. What squares to give you b squared?
Plus and minus.
And it will be plus and minus, okay? So you will use that form to answer all of these, okay? So we're going to start with question x squared minus 64, okay? So does x squared minus 64 have a greatest common factor?
No.
No, it does not, okay? Is it a difference of squares?
Yes.
Yes. So we can go ahead and set this up to factor it. What squares to give us x squared? What squares to give us 64?
8.
And what signs do you need to make a negative?
Plus and minus.
Positive and negative. Okay, that is the answer. Now, for our next question, we have 18m squared n minus 2n cubed. Does that have a greatest common factor?
Yes.
What is the greatest common factor? Or 2n. Okay, so if we take out a 2n, what is 18m squared n divided by 2n? 9m squared. What is negative 2n cubed divided by 2n? Minus n.
Minus n squared.
Yep. Now, the part that's left, I'll have to ignore my tummy growling. The part that is left right here, is that a perfect difference of squares? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're going to set that up to factor. What squares to give you 9m squared? What squares to give you n squared?
N.
And what signs do you need?
Plus and minus.
Okay, does the order of those signs matter?
No.
No, I can do plus and minus, or I can do minus plus. It really doesn't matter. Am I done with this question?
No.
What do I need to do? Okay, if you have a GCF, we need to make sure that GCF is written in front of the final answer. Okay, we just bring it down to the front of the answer.
Go in between.
Just shows in front. I guess you technically could put it between, but
Doesn't matter.
you would have to make sure you put it in parentheses if you put it in between.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that,
I was
but
just asking.
Sorry, I'm just trying to discourage her.
It's very fun. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
you want to make it symmetrical.
Yeah, because it's squared, right? So it's two.
No, just put it in front. All right, now we are going to talk about what to do with three terms. Okay, we have two scenarios we have with three terms. Whenever we have a three, y'all please stop talking. Okay, whenever we have three terms, okay, we have trinomials. Okay, so we have two cases. We're going to start with the first one. The first case of trinomials is when our a value, what is a in this trinomial right here? 1. Because remember, that is what is understood to be in front of our x squared. Okay, when a is 1, that is when you can use shortcut. That is when you have a shortcut. This is the only one that has a shortcut. Okay, a has to be 1. A has to equal 1. You can use a shortcut. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look at the couple of questions we have here. So same thing, we check for a GCF first And then we can look at the trinomial. So does x squared minus x minus 42 have a greatest common factor? No. Okay. So what is our a in this trinomial?
1.
1. What is our b?
1.
1. Negative 1.
Negative 1. What is our c? Negative 42. So from here, we have to figure out what multiplies to give us our a times c. What is a times c in this question?
Negative 1. Oh.
Negative 42.
Yeah.
And we have to figure out what adds to give us our b term. What is our b term?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. So what factors of 42 multiply to give us negative 42 but add to give us negative 1? 6 and 7. What combination of 6 and 7?
Once 7's positive, negative is 6. Wait, sorry.
No, by the way.
Negative 7, positive 6. Okay, because we are trying to add it together to get negative 1. Okay, so the bigger number needs to be negative there. Now, can I use the shortcut?
Yes.
Yes. Why can I use the shortcut? What is A? A is 1. Okay, so to use the shortcut, we just write our answer in factored form. So we will do x minus 7 times x plus 6, and we are done.
If we don't use that shortcut, is it okay to like,
If you don't use the shortcut and you do the whole thing by grouping, you're still completely correct.
then I probably
That is A-okay. If you want to use it so that you use the same method consistently and don't switch it up, that's fine with me. Okay? But I'm just showing you the way to make it quicker if you would like to. Now, for 2w squared plus 20w plus 50, what is our greatest common factor?
2.
Okay? So when we take out 2, we have 2w squared divided by 2. What does that leave us with?
W
Square plus
squared.
Okay? What about 20w divided by 2? Okay? 50 divided by 2?
25.
All right. Once you take out that GCF, you are going to look at factoring that trinomial inside. What is the A in that trinomial?
1.
What is the B?
50. Nope. 10. W.
Okay, what is the C?
25.
Okay, and we're going to set this up to figure out what multiplies to give us A times C. What is A times C?
25.
And we have to figure out what adds to give us our B. What is our B? What multiplies to give you 25 but adds to give you 10? It is positive 5 and positive 5. Can I use the shortcut?
Yes.
So we would do W plus 5 times W plus 5. Am I done? What do I need to do? Put that 2 in front. It is a GCF. It goes in front of our answer. Now, you could write this answer as 2 times W plus 5 squared. Because when you multiply something by itself, you're essentially squaring it. So that is what you do when you have trinomials where A is equal to 1. Okay, we're also going to look at trinomials when A is greater than 1. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at trinomials when A is greater than 1. So if we have an A in there and A is greater than 1, this is what we do. Okay, so when we are doing this, we start by still checking to see if there's a greatest common factor. That is step 1 always. What is the GCF of 30x squared minus 27x plus 6? 3. So we're going to take out that GCF of 3. When we take that out, what does that leave us with?
10x squared minus 9x minus plus 2. Oh, plus 2. Yeah.
Okay? And that trinomial is what we are going to factor. What is our A?
10x squared.
Or just the 10. What is our B?
negative 9.
What is our C?
2.
Okay, so we have to figure out what multiplies to give us A times C. What is our A times our C? And we have to figure out what adds to give us our B. What is our B?
Negative 9.
So what multiplies to give us 20 but adds to give us negative 9?
Negative 4.
Okay, so from here, can I use the shortcut?
No.
No. Okay, when you cannot use the shortcut, you have to set it up to do grouping. To do that, you replace your middle term with your 2 new factors. So you're going to do 10x squared minus 4x minus 5x plus 2. And then we just factor by grouping. So we're going to group the first two terms. What is our greatest common factor when we group the first two terms? 2.
X.
And if we take out 2x, what does that leave us with?
5x minus 2.
Okay? For the second half of this, we're also going to take out a GCF. If it starts with a negative, we have to take out a negative. And then what's the GCF of negative 5x and 2?
1.
Negative 1. So if we take out a negative 1, what does that leave us with?
5x plus 2.
Mm,
Minus 2?
minus 2, because 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. If it starts with a negative, you have to take out a negative, which makes your signs change. That's what you always do with the GCF. If it starts with a negative, you take that negative out to write your GCF. So all we did is say negative 5x divided by negative 1 is positive 5x. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now what part is the same?
5x minus 2.
What part's left over?
X. 2x minus 1.
And is that the answer?
No.
What do I need to put in front?
The 3.
The 3. That GCF we took out at the very beginning, it has to go to be in front for our answer. And this is the longest type of question you will have. Okay? That is the longest you will get. Okay? Every other one of these is going to be a max of 2, maybe 3 steps. This is the longest. Okay? And it's because we cannot use the shortcut. Okay? We have to set it up, find our factors, rewrite it, and then write our terms. Now, we're going to look at our last type of factoring, which happens when we have 4 terms. What do we do when we have 4 terms?
Divide it into 2.
What is that method called, though?
Grouping.
Grouping. Now, regardless of if we have 2 or 100 terms, we check to see if there's a GCF first. Does 2a to the third a squared b plus 10a minus 5b have a greatest common factor?
No, I don't think so.
No, it does not. So we are good to start grouping, okay? So when we start grouping, we're going to group first 2. What is the GCF of 2a cubed minus a squared b? It's what? Just a squared. What is that going to leave us with? 2a minus b. Now, if we group the second half of this, does that have a greatest common factor? Which leaves us with 2a minus b. What part is the same? What part is left over? And that is our answer. Is there anything else I can factor there or anything else I need to do?
No.
And we are good. Okay, that is our 4 types of factoring we're going to be looking at. Now, on your test, you will have these in addition to adding, subtracting, and multiplying. Okay, we are spending more time on factoring because it tends to be a more difficult skill to master. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and kind of talk about our test for a little bit. Okay, before we finish our stuff for today. The factoring test, people have a tendency to either get it and do really, really, really well, or to not get it and do bad, okay? And that's because it is very procedural, which means we're doing a lot of like the procedure of factoring. It's not context questions. It's not stuff you can extrapolate. It's either you know it or you don't, okay? And I kind of think of factoring as almost like muscle memory, but for your brain. Because the more you do it, the more you see the problems, the more you see the different types of problems, the quicker you are to recognize what you do and do it well, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the mixed factoring section of our notes, which is the 7.3, 7.4 page. And we're going to look at the even questions together today. Now, I have already recorded me going over the odds.
What page is it?
It is page 14 and 15. So we're going to go over the evens together, and then I made a recording of me doing the odds, okay? So We're going to focus just on the evens for now. All right? Now, let's go ahead and start with these. What it does right here, it says up until now, you've been told what type of factoring to use. So this is how it'll be on your test. I am not going to tell you, this is a difference of squares. Factor using difference of squares. I'm not going to tell you, this has 4 terms, use grouping. This is a trinomial where A is 1, you can use a shortcut. I'm not telling you that on the test. You have to be able to recognize it, which is part of why I gave you that graphic organizer. I'm hoping it will help you to recognize it. So this is just the same exact thing that is on that yellow paper. Start with a GCF, then use how many terms it is, okay, to figure out what to do next. So we're going to go ahead and look at question 2. So how many terms is in this question? 4. Okay, does it have a greatest common factor? No. So since it is a 4-term polynomial, what do we do? Grouping. So we're going to group the first 2 terms, and we're going to group the last 2 terms. When we group the first 2, what is the greatest common factor of the first 2? X squared. We take that out, what are we left with? Perfect. Now for the second half of this, we have negative 4x minus 8y. It starts with a negative, so our GCF is going to be, and it's going to be negative what?
4.
So if we take out a negative 4, what is negative 4x divided by negative 4?
X plus 2y.
X plus 2y. Now, what part is the same here? And what part's left over? X squared minus 4. Now, yes ma'am.
Do you always have to put the same ones first?
The order of the 2 does not matter, but you do have to make sure they're paired correctly. All right, now. Oh. What is this?
Difference of squares.
It's a difference of squares. That has to get factored too. Difference of squares like to hide. They don't like to be obvious. So, for that difference of squares, okay, what squares to give us x squared? What squares to give us 2? Or what squares to give us 4?
No.
And what signs do we need? Okay, and then is that my final answer?
No, you have to bring out X.
I have to bring down the x plus 2y. That is our final answer. Difference of squares like to hide. Okay? They're almost never in a problem by itself. Usually it'll be like with a GCF or something else like that. Okay? They like to hide. They like to be sneaky. So we're done with this problem now. Okay? There's nothing else we can factor. Now let's go ahead and look at question 4. So question 4. Does question 4 have a greatest common factor?
Yes.
What?
Negative 4. Oh, negative 4x squared.
It's just 4x squared. Okay? The first term is not negative, so we don't have to take out a negative. Part of that is we try to avoid that first term being negative as much as possible, which is why we would take out a negative if it was there. So from here, what is 8x to the 4th divided by 4x squared? Minus x. What goes from there? Minus 6. So we are now going to focus on this part of our problem. How many terms does that part have? 3. It is a trinomial. So let's find our a, b, and c. What is a of that trinomial? What is b? Negative 1. What is c? Okay. So we have to figure out what multiplies to give us, what is a times c? We have to figure out what adds to give us b. What is b? What multiplies to give us negative 12 but adds to give us negative 1? What combination of 4 and 3?
Negative 4 positive.
Now, can I use our shortcut?
No.
Why not? Because a is not 1. So we have to rewrite the whole thing. We're going to do 2x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 6. And then what do? I have to factor by
Oh, never mind.
Grouping, right? We're going to group the first two. What is the greatest common factor of 2x squared minus 4x? Which leaves us with? Okay, for the second half of this, what is the GCF? If we take out a 3, what does that leave us with? What part is the same? What part's left over? And is that the final answer?
No.
What do I need to do?
4x.
Goes in front. And so that is our final answer. Is there anything else we need to do? No, we are done. Like I said, these are the longest type of question you will have. Everything else will be shorter, but these are the ones that we can't really shrink much more, okay? Now, number 6, So number 6, we have how many terms right now? 2. Does that have a GCF?
No. Yes.
A. So if we take out a greatest common factor of A, what does that leave us with? -1. Because what is anything divided by itself? 1. And if one of them's negative, it's -1. Now, what is this?
Difference of squares.
So that's what I mean by difference of squares like to hide. It will not be obvious from the get-go usually. So what squares to give us b squared? What squares to give us 1?
1.
And what signs do we need? Does the order of these signs matter? No. And then what do I need to do to write my final answer? Yes.
Variables always have to go first, or like in the variables have to go.
Usually you start in standard form, so they just will. All right. Number 8. How many terms does number 8 have? 3. Okay, it's a trinomial, so we got to figure out what we got to do here. What does it have a GCF?
Yes.
What is the GCF?
X.
So if I take out an x, what does that leave us with?
X squared minus 10x plus 21.
Yeah. Now, we have to use this trinomial to factor it. What is our A?
1.
What is our B? What is our C? Okay, so from here we have to figure out what multiplies to give us, what is A times C?
21.
And we have to figure out what adds to give us, what is our B? What multiplies to give us 20, but what multiplies to give us 21, but adds to give us -10?
-7,
-7, -3. Now, can we use the shortcut?
Yes.
Because A is 1, we can use a shortcut, so we can just do x minus 7 times x minus 3. And is that the final answer?
No.
What do we need to do?
X.
Got to put that GCF in front. Now we're going to flip and look at the back. Okay. Number 10. How many terms are in number 10? 3. Does it have a greatest common factor? What is the greatest common factor? So if we take out 3, what does that leave us with?
25x squared minus 10x plus 1.
Right, from there, we have to look at these terms. What is our A?
25.
What is our B?
-10.
What is our C?
1.
So we have to figure out what multiplies to give us A times C, which is,
25.
we have to figure out what adds to give us, what multiplies to give us 25, but adds to give us -10.
-5, -5.
Because a negative times a negative makes it positive, but if you add them, you'll just get -10. Can I use the shortcut for this one?
No.
So we're going to write 25x squared minus 5x minus 5x plus 1. Remember, all we do there is rewrite the middle term using our 2 factors. Now what? Group. So we're going to look at the first 2. What is the GCF of the first 2?
5x.
Which leaves us with
5x minus 5.
All right, for the second half, -1. Okay, because it starts with a negative, so we have to take out a negative. And then the only GCF between 5 and 1 is 1. If we take out a -1, what does that leave us with? Okay, what part is the same? What part's left over? And is that my final answer? What do I need to do? Put down the 3 in front. You could also write this as 3 times 5x minus 1 squared. Yes, ma'am. All right, number 12. Okay, for number 12, what do I do? How many terms is this? Does it have a greatest common factor? Okay, so we're going to start by factoring by grouping. So we're going to group the first two, and we are going to group the last two. When we group the first two, what is our greatest common factor? Which leaves us with?
Plus 5B.
2b.
Oh.
And I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
It was fun. Watch, it was an accident.
Okay. From here, what is our greatest common factor of the second half? Which leaves us with?
A plus 2b.
Wait. I'm tripping.
Okay, finish that problem.
Oh, is that, I think that's that might be good.
Boy, you had to just skip
Miss
it.
Williams? No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
You got caught what?
Y'all hush. I didn't say a word. Nobody said nothing. All right.
Oh, he probably is.
Oh my God, I can't deal with y'all. Y'all stop being nosy.
I've known him
They-
for like 4 years.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but you looked that way, look behind you, and she was like,
He's not in there?
No, he wouldn't do that.
What?
Yeah, your phone is really loud, actually.
Okay. What? And y'all say I'm nosy. Y'all are a problem. What is in common with both of those?
A plus 2B.
And what part is left over?
5 minus 3.
And are we done?
Yes. Pull down the 5. No, you
Oh.
never mind.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, well, actually.
All right, number 14. Does number 14 have a greatest common factor? What? 4y. Because each of these have a y. Why is x not a greatest common factor?
One of them is squared, and it doesn't have it.
Yep. So what does that leave us with if we take out 4y?
4x squared? I mean, x squared. What?
It's just going to be x squared.
Yo.
Yes, ma'am.
Minus 6 x. Oh. And then plus 8. Plus 8. No, 9. Guys,
All right. Now, we are going to look at this part here. Okay, when we look at this part, we have to figure out what is our A?
1 x.
What is our B?
9 negative 6.
What is our C?
9.
So we have to figure out what multiplies to give us A times C. What is A times C?
9.
And we have to figure out what adds to give us B. What is our B?
Negative 6.
What multiplies to give us 9?
Negative 3. Plus negative 3.
Okay, so it is -3 and -3. Can we use the shortcut? Why?
Because there's a 1 plus a.
Okay, so we have x minus 3 times x minus 3. Is that our final answer, though? Bring down the 4y. And I could also write this as 4y times x minus 3 squared. All right, so I want to take a few seconds and we're going to talk about what we're going to do, A, for the rest of class, and B, for the rest of this unit. Yes. When Kenora gets back. All right.
What is our test?
So we're about to talk about. So, now, like I said earlier, the best way to get better at factoring is to practice. We are not going over all of the odds. However, I have already recorded the video of me going over each of the odds, so you can watch those and check your work, okay? Now, what we're also going to do today, okay, is I want us to all get out our yellow packet that I gave y'all last week sometime. Or maybe the week before that. I don't know. And I will pull it up real fast. Okay. It should be this right here. Okay. We already did questions 1 through 6. We should have already had those questions done. So what you are going to do, okay, on the next page, you also should already have questions 1 through 4 done. You are going to do from 7.3, you are going to do the odds. And for 7.4, you're going to do the odds. All the way down to 19. Yeah, from 7.3 to 7.4, you're going to do all of the odds. Hello, this is Ms. Williams. Yes, it was in a second. Yes, ma'am. Correct.
Dang, I was about to go to this house.
All right. So you have to do the odds from 7.3 to 7.4. Okay. Again, with this, I already have the video posted of me going through with the answers to the evens and the answers to the odds so you can check your work. Okay. I want you to make sure you are paying attention to what you are doing. Okay. On Monday, we are going to start working through the review. The last half of that yellow packet is your review. Okay. Everything else in there is our review. We are going to work on that on Monday together. Okay. This is what we will be doing on Monday, which is the 9th. Okay. Now, Tuesday is the juniors ACT day, right? Y'all have a virtual day that day. So you will be studying on your own for the test. So we'll go through exactly what you need to finish for that on Tuesday. But you have from now till Wednesday to get ready for this test. Our test is on Wednesday, okay? I am not splitting it into 2 full separate tests, okay? Just because there's not a good way to do that because there's not really a calculator, no calculator part with this. So it will be one test that if you need the little bit of the second day, I'll give you that, okay? I want y'all to do well. This is one test that the skills is going to follow you. Very much so, okay? So I want you to make sure we get it down. And then if we do that, then Thursday we'll have some finishing time to work on anything we need to work on for the end of the quarter. Friday is a virtual day. The following Monday is a teacher work day. So like really, all you got next week for me is this test. Okay? We're reviewing on Monday, testing on Wednesday. I want y'all to do well. So if you need extra practice, I already have the answers for the other half of this. Okay, you can also go back into Delta Math and do extra problems there. Okay, factoring is something that the best way to get good at it is to do it. Okay, I know you don't, but it gives you questions that will check it themselves. Okay, so there we go. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
For 3.4, we already supposed to have done the first 4.
Mm-hmm.
I meant 3.4.
7.4. I knew what you meant. Yes.
When do we get our homemade cookies made as well?
Whenever I go to the grocery store.
I think.
I don't know that's gonna be anytime.
You know, I am working on it. I can't go today because I have to leave today to go pick up the doggy to take her to the vet to get her other shots. And then I might go on Tuesday of next week and bring them on test day.
Oh, ball.
I might do that. I think this time I'm gonna make the cookies. I'm gonna do half of them with chocolate chips like normal, and then I'm gonna do the other half with mini M&Ms.
Oh, that's